Hey guys, Chris here. Right behind me we have my brand new 2020 or 1 week old 2020 Audi E Tron 55 Quattro, and I've actually done 1,000 or 1,100 kilometers with this car the first 7 days of my ownership. And in today's video I'm going to give you guys my first impression, my first review, a video on what the first 1,100 kilometers with this car has been like. So, my brand new 2020 Audi E Tron 55 Quattro, the first week, and I do apologize, my camera is acting up a bit with this lighting condition because it's dark behind the trees, and then it's light suddenly because of the sunlight, so I'll do my best. But well, instant torque. Instant torque. So sport mode, just touch the throttle. This is like every other EV out there. Instant torque. The response is instant, and that is the thing I do like the most about this car. It has 360 horsepower in normal drive mode, and then you get the full 408 when you put it into sport mode. You also get much better throttle response, but in drive it's really nice to drive. And this is also one of the most quiet cars I have ever driven. I think the previous most quiet car I drove was probably the Audi Q7. Was really high up there on the list of quiet cars I've driven. The Q7 was just a tad bit quieter than my XC90, but this just takes everything to a new level. I mean, this is on 20-inch wheels, 255mm wide, not the widest of wheels, but there's barely any tire noise. I mean, we're doing 70 kilometers an hour now. If I increase the speed to 90, doesn't matter, you don't hear any difference. This car is so quiet. I also have it equipped with the acoustic glass, which is double glass with a lamination in between. Just, makes this car even more quiet. On the motorway at, 120 kilometers an hour, it's super silent. You can have a conversation without even raising your voice. You could whisper. So the refinement levels of this car, and this is, it's not unique to this car in particular, it's just a benefit of EVs, it's just the quietness. You don't have any engine that's, chugging along, that's revving out, that is noisy and unrefined. This has an artificial sound like a Porsche Taycan. I don't know if you can turn it off. I don't mind it at all, but if I could turn it off, this car would be even more quiet. But, well, I don't mind it at all. But the refinement of this car is just on another level. So you have the EV refinement, the instant throttle response, the just no sound from any drivetrain at all, combined with the cocoon of a bank vault this cabin is. This is one of the quietest cars I've ever driven. I think it is the quietest car. And other reviewers who have, sound tested this car with a decibel meter confirmed that this is much more quiet than other types of cars. It's just really impressive. Along with this car on air suspension, it's so comfortable. And yeah, stop, just complete silence, and then immediate throttle response, no delay from an engine, turbos, or a transmission. The past week has just been super relaxing. This car is so chilled out and relaxing to drive. And I'm taking this car on a road trip tomorrow to Trondheim, 500 kilometers, and I'm really excited to see how this car is going to be on the open road in Norway. I've only driven it, I've driven it on motorways and mostly around here in Oslo where I live. And here, the pavement here is usually really bad. The road surfacing here is terrible, but because this car is so comfortable on this air suspension, well, bad roads aren't bad roads anymore. I mean, I used to swear about how terrible these roads were, but now I don't even notice them because this car is so comfortable. So that was a bit about, you know, just how this is as a car to drive. The interior is really, really nice. At first I thought it was a bit boring with the screens and the dashboard layout, but I've grown to really appreciate it. Everything just works perfectly. The MMI system here, the touch MMI works perfect, and also the touchscreen for the infotainment system down here below. Usually I do prefer hard knobs for the HVAC controls, but everything having a dedicated screen just works really, really well. These seats are just beautiful and are very comfortable. They're at Volvo level, and I'm also excited to drive this car for a 6-hour road trip tomorrow to see how seat comfort is. But well, the first week they are nothing to complain about at all. But what you guys are probably most curious about is how is this car to live with as a car. So this is an EV. It has a 95 kilowatt hour battery pack, but only 86.5 of those are available for you to use. So you can only fill it up that much, and that means that, well, how much range do you actually get out of this car? Well, over the last 1100 kilometers, I've had an average consumption of 25.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And I know that Tesla Bjørn Nilan will be swearing at the screen now at me because he prefers to use per kilometer per 10 kilometers, but I'm gonna use the measuring unit that's here on the screen because I'm not as prevalent at EVs at that guy. He really is the EV expert king out there. And if you haven't checked out his channel, link in the description down below to Bjørn. So shout out to Bjørn Nilan, Tesla Bjørn, who is the king of EV testing. And I'll also be doing a collab with him in the video tomorrow, so look forward to that, guys. And subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I know that I think as much as 90% of you guys watching aren't subscribed, so if you don't want to miss out on that video and future videos on the Audi E Tron and other cars, hit that subscribe button down below, and also give me a like to show that you like these types of videos. Well, back to what I was talking about. So with that battery capacity, 86.5 kilowatt hours, and the average consumption I've had for the past week, that gives this car about a 340 kilometer range, which is 60 kilometers shy of the 400 stated by WLTP. But that is mostly city driving, and my average speed is 28 kilometers an hour. I've done most of those kilometers on motorway at high speed, which isn't good for EV range, and also in the city stop and go traffic. But I did a round trip yesterday of about 300 kilometers, and I had the consumption down to 22.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, giving this car a range at that rate of 380 kilometers, and that was also city driving and motorway driving. So somewhere in between 400 and 350 would be realistic for you guys to achieve. And now my camera is not giving me enough brightness, so around 350 to 400 kilometers is what you can expect, shorter than the WLTP. And just at around the EPA rated range of this car. And the EPA rated ranges seem to be more accurate than WLTP. Again, now we're on the motorway, and let's just accelerate. Yeah, so 110 kilometers an hour. Super silent, and braking down to 80. Doesn't matter. This thing is so damn silent, and this is a real long haul road trip car. It's just so relaxing. You get out of the car on the other side of a long trip and you feel relaxed because it's so quiet. And that makes also the sound system actually, well, I want to touch upon the sound system before we go into charging and how charging works. And just beware, guys. This is my first EV, basically the second EV I've ever driven for this channel. So I don't know too much about EVs, so please don't rip me too much in the comments, but I will be representing what most of you guys who are new to EVs will be experiencing. So I think it will still be valuable for most of you guys who are new to electric vehicles. The Bang & Olufsen sound system is something I was very skeptical about before buying this car, because I came from two XC90s which had Bowers & Wilkins sound systems, which basically are the best sound systems in any car below like $7,000 or $8,000. At like $3,200 or $3,500, they were immensely impressive. So I have a really high standard in what I'm used to. So fast forward to, we had two Audi A4s. We had one privately, and my colleague had one. And we had ours equipped with the upgraded stereo system, and he had the Bang & Olufsen sound system in the Audi A4. And that was just very disappointing. I wasn't impressed at all. I would say I was actually disappointed by the sound quality of that sound system. And that was priced at around $1,200. This is priced at around $1,200. And yeah, I'm really impressed. I mean, it's not Bowers & Wilkins levels of sound quality, but it's about 7 or 8 tenths of that at a fraction of the price. That is impressive. So lastly in this video, I want to touch upon living with an EV and charging. I don't have a charger where I live now, and this damn camera just keeps giving me too of a dark picture. I really apologize, guys, if I'm just dark. You just have to live with it. But I don't have charging where I live. Hopefully I will get that at a later point in time. But this car can take up to 150 kilowatts of charging, meaning that, well, this car can charge fully in like below 40 minutes from 0 to 100. That is impressive. And in reality, I've been charging this car while I've been at my office in downtown Oslo. Street parking gives you charging for free, parking for free, and yeah, it is slow charging, but well, free is free, and I'm not complaining about that. So that gives me, well, much more charging than I use to and from work, so that is really nice. But also a bunch of shopping malls around in Oslo and in the Oslo area have chargers. You do have to pay for these chargers, but they have fast chargers. Most are like 50, 100, or even 150 kilowatts. So you have really fast charging. So I was out just at a mall here last week, earlier this week, and I, was there for half an hour, and the car was fully charged. So it's not been an inconvenience at all. I've just, changed the way I approach refueling a car, and it actually works fairly well. After you download all the apps and you get to know where the chargers are, because they're usually placed in their own section of a shopping mall in a parking garage. It's just getting used to where to charge and how to charge. But it's super simple, and I haven't had any issues at all. Chargers have been working. The charging cable hasn't been locked into the car or anything, and the apps have worked, and payment have just been super easy. So yeah, I'm finding this EV experience, again, I'm going on a long trip tomorrow. Let's see how this works on a long trip. But I've found this EV experience so far to be, well, really with more upsides than downsides, more convenience than inconvenience, guys. Yeah, so there you go. That was just a short update on my first 1,000 or 1,100 kilometers here in my brand new 2020 Audi E Tron 55. And I'm really happy that I went for the 55 with the 95 kilowatt hour battery pack instead of the 50, which has a, 75 hour. I'm not sure how small that battery pack is, but it does give you 100 kilometers less of range. And I think if I would have gone for the smaller battery pack, this would have been a very different experience, because I could basically go almost a week without charging, going to and from work. But I've been, driving this car a lot. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been going on a few trips, visiting friends out of town, to really just give you guys as quickly as possible, a realistic picture of how this car is to drive. But on a normal basis, you could go a week without charging this car, and well, if you quick charge once a week, that wouldn't cost you a lot of money at all. So yeah, first week, I'm really happy. I'm really impressed by this car. This is maybe the best car I've ever owned. Better than an XC90. That is high praise. Did I really say that? Better than an XC90? Well, it's not fair, because my last XC90 was a hybrid. This is an electric vehicle, so this of course has refinement on another level. But let me think about that a bit deeper and get back to you in a later video. So guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below, and for more car content and more content on this car to come, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.